why it's really important to have a plan and understand what your goals are.
In fact, my camel out there is suffering right now with a broken back.
So I actually found Pepe when it was only a couple of hours old, and I'm like, oh, this is a funny meme.
Oh my god.
Yo! Who is this Degen?
The old man is swing trading over years at a time. And it's like, that's where the real money is made.
The answer is a permanent loss. With single-sided staking, you don't have to worry about impermanent loss.
If you're aware, if you're disciplined, you can hone that into further financial growth.
Financial freedom, to where you can actually live life and not have to be constantly living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, more or less, right?
I almost forgot to hit my mute button there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crypto degenerates, ducks and squirrels, welcome to this here episode number 53 of the Degen Roundtable Sunday News Show. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin prices. We're going to be talking about Trump getting shot at again, PLUSD, some shit that's going on, some hopium in the pulse chain marketplace, and some other excellent things. Joining me tonight is our macroeconomics expert, my co-host, Mr. Brendan, and then also our fantastic panelists who you got like 1/3 of the entire screen over there to show off your fantastically brand new shaven face. Our good friend Nate Magetta, who specializes a lot in chasing after other chains, doing liquidity pairing, stuff of that nature, like he's the money printer setup guy. My name is Will Stevenson. I'm your guys' host. I travel around the States building TV towers and shaking hands, kissing babies, and meeting up with all the fellow crypto folks and doing awesome, good stuff like that. I just got done with a wedding up here in Connecticut, New Jersey area, so I'm about to be traveling around the States again. So if any of you guys want me to swing by on my way from the New York area on over to Texas, I'm already set up to meet two folks on my way over, so it's going to be a good time. Hit me up on Telegram if you guys are interested in me swinging by. But enough about me, enough about the intro. Let's see what's new and exciting with our fantastic panelists, starting with my good co-host, Mr. Brendan Broski. What's new and exciting with you, my friend?
What is up, Will? Nate, great to see you guys. Mrs. Producer, thank you for always being there in the background. Thank you all for joining us and watching and being part of this community. It's been a blessing to be part of this community over the past year plus. And, we do talk mostly about crypto, but we aren't just trying to get people wealthy. We want people to become better human beings, right? And that's not just about taking your own wealth into your own hands and making things that are important, but also, becoming a better person, be it spiritually, making sure that if you become rich, if you ever do break through, that you are in a place where you can make use of that, because just having money doesn't make you happy. And so mentally, spiritually, and financially are things that you need to work on. For me personally, I was at a retreat this weekend with my fiance, 8 hours yesterday, 8 hours today, in preparation for our marriage. So we are working on, preparing for marriage. And for us, it's a really important thing that you have to work for, you have to work towards. And so this retreat this weekend wasn't something I was particularly looking forward to, but it was a great growth opportunity for both of us. Allowed us to have some tools and opportunities for growth, both personally and in a relationship standpoint. And it's going to give us a lot of opportunity over the next 6 months until our marriage, to communicate better, to learn to communicate better, to work on planning things that maybe we haven't had discussions about. And, it's kind of opened my eyes differently, because I haven't really heard a lot of people doing, retreats before they get married. But it was fruitful, very fruitful for both of us. And it was a bit unexpected for me. So over here trying to better myself in my relationship as much as I am my financial future. Nate, how you doing, buddy?
Excellent.
Absolutely. I think that's important. I am named the ascending man for a reason, because I absolutely believe in like ascending to different levels of just being a better human in general, right? It's like the best version of yourself. And yeah, I agree with that, Brendan. It's really important. With that being said, though, man, we got a lot of breaking news suddenly. Like, what the heck is going on here? And when it comes to this, I was like, this beard, this mustache and beard is annoying. I'm shaving it.
I was about to say, bro, the most important, like, forget about Trump getting shot at, forget about Michael Saylor buying shit tons of coin, forget about all these green candles. Fucking Nate doesn't have his beard anymore. He's going for a whole new look, a brand new clean shaven face. You look good, broski. I like it. I like it a lot. But
Thank you.
guys,
I don't know,
thanks for
personally,
joining us.
I think
Go
maybe
ahead.
a little something here would be good, personally. But
I just want to rub his cute little baby face.
Oh boy!
Oh.
All right, I'm the baby of the group now. Woohoo! It's
Oh,
no
that's
longer
perfectly. Oh, dude, it's all good, man. I like the look. It reminds me a lot of your profile picture that you used to have on Telegram. I think that I made an emoji of it for a while back. So for those of you who have the Telegram like premium emojis of the Degen Roundtable members, Nate is in there as with his like his sunglasses and his short hair. And I can't remember if you had a beard in that picture or not, but your look right now reminds me of that. So, before we get into the topics too much, I'm going to do a quick round of chat shoutouts, which are going to be very in-depth and crazy. We've got some excellent amigos in the chat. So, Mrs. Producer, if you don't mind, we're going to go ahead and get started with some motherfucking chat shoutouts. We've got some fantastic people in the house today. So, I'm also using my chat shoutouts as a mouse pad. So, shout outs time. So first up, we got Mr. Kenturian 54X. Ahoy, Degens. Ahoy to you too, good sir. Glad to see you in the area. I hope everything is going fantastic over there on your farm and that you're doing great. And I can't wait till I get back to Texas so I can hop on my computer and play some motherfucking Sea of Thieves with you, bro. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time indeed. Next up, we got Moonbutt, an IRL friend of mine. Shout out to Moonbutt. Super cool cat. Met this guy, shook his hand. An excellent gentleman, a scholar, and a fantastic individual indeed. I love seeing you in the chat, Moonmuck, bro. I will hit you up next time I'm passing through your area of the States. We've also got Jemmy, everyone's favorite. Not your. I remember you're back in the States now, so I'm not gonna dox your. Oh yes, it is. She has a good point in her follow-on chats, but I'm not going to dox your location or everything. Yes, I will watch my mouth. It is Sunday. It is the Lord's Day. Fair point. Absolutely right. But it's good to see you, Jemmy. What's up? And welcome to the show. Next up, we've got Mr. Russ, an OG. Good to see you, Degen Roundtable. Good to see you too, sir. Welcome. After that, we've got Niles Jenkins commenting on Nate's lack of facial hair anymore. Nate, does your razor slip? I don't think his razor slip. I think
just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, just over the whole entire freaking thing. What's up, Niles? Good to see you, broski. Glad to have you in the chats with us today. And I do believe that has us covered for the chat shoutouts. So we got a couple things that we can talk about today. I've got a whole bunch of articles pulled up regarding Donald Trump. I haven't read a single one of them, but we'll go ahead and start off here first. We'll just talk about it instead of sharing screen, because I'm at a Starbucks right now stealing their Wi-Fi, so that's where all of my internet's coming from. So we'll see how long this lasts with my little laptop on the road here.
If the police show up, we know why.
Yeah, if the police show up, then well, hopefully they're down in Florida helping out Trump right now. But let's see. So I'm just going to go ahead and read this. This is from NPR.org. So NPR, this is today, the 15th of September. It looks like they last updated this article at 6:34 p.m. Eastern. So that was not even a whole hour ago. So former President Donald Trump is safe after shots were fired at his golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida, while Trump was golfing there Sunday afternoon. Local officials also said they had the suspect in custody without providing further details. FBI said they're investigating as an attempted assassination, making it the second time a gunman has targeted Trump in just the last 2 months. And then there's some other background information. The important thing is Trump sent out an email. There was an email sent out by Trump's campaign that basically there were gunshots in my vicinity, but before rumors started spiraling out of control, wanted you to hear this first. I am safe and well. So that's good to hear. Basically no details, since this more or less literally just happened earlier today. So I'm sure that we'll hear more about it later on, but like details notwithstanding, what are your guys' thoughts on this whole thing? This is the second time. I'm looking at a second article, and it's saying that the AK style rifle sticking through the shrubbery of the lines at a course roughly 400 yards away, which is quite a long quite a long distance to take shots with an AK. For those of you guys that don't know, like the effective range of an AK on like a man-sized target is about 1 to 300 yards. You can like press that a little bit further if you really know what you're doing, but the tolerances on an AK-47 or just an AK style rifle are very loose, and that's one of the things that make AKs super duper functional in real life, is that they have loose tolerances and the parts are machined to slide and operate well with like space in between like the bolt carrier and stuff. The barrel is literally just jammed inside the receiver, so it's just a really, like, I don't want to say crude weapon, but it's a very functional at low range sort of deal. So this isn't like some sort of AR-15 or hunting rifle platform. This is a weapon that's, you know, it's just kind of hardy. It's like your jack of all trades. This is like the thing that you would use to beat open a can of tuna or whatever if ever you're hungry. It's definitely not a designated marksman rifle. So there's other different types of stuff, but as I read through this article a little bit further, I want to get your guys thoughts on this. Brendan, Nate, either you guys want to take this?
Well, I thought, see, I'm actually, I've been watching the game today, right? Or the games, I should say. Watching football and literally, like, talking about, ascending, right? I'm actually building out my second brain, and I've been doing that literally all day. But during one of the commercials, though, they went to one of the news channels, okay? And they were just like, hey, by the way, Trump got shot at. I was like, wait, what? And they said it was a high-powered rifle. And that's what they were saying. I
mean, yeah.
And basically, the Secret Service just shot at the person shooting at Trump. So that's really all the information I got.
I've got. I'm going to go ahead and post this in the chat. So it'll probably break it up into a couple different messages. But the long and short of it is that an agent fired back, like you were saying, Nate. The gunman dropped the rifle, fled in an SUV, leaving the firearm behind, along with 2 backpacks and an optic, and as well as a GoPro. So the man was later taken into custody in a neighboring county. So I guess they got the guy, they got the weapon, he had some cameras and stuff. So yeah, this is interesting. So
yeah,
wow.
Let's
go ahead.
So look, we don't have a lot of details yet. This is breaking. Mm-hmm. I'm sure a lot more details will come out. Like you said, Will, it's interesting that this type of person, this alleged gunman, took a shot with a gun that is very ineffective at the range that he was shooting. So was he inexperienced? Did he freak out because this was his only opportunity? I'm curious about sort of his mental thought process, which we may never find out about. But for someone that's trying to assassinate somebody, right? That's what we're being told, at least.
Yep.
To take a shot when you don't even have a real chance. I don't know. Will, you probably have a better idea? Like, what's the percentage that he could even hit him? Either the man was inexperienced or mentally so angry or insane. It's just like, I'm gonna do whatever I can, right? This is my chance. And so it's hard to sort of wrap your head around this from a mental standpoint. But let's just take this from a outside of what happened standpoint. Every time that someone tries to assassinate Donald Trump and it doesn't work out, there's a better chance he gets elected this fall, in my opinion. Look, I think that there is a lot coming out. In fact, man, we're not a political show. We're not trying to talk about politics. The ABC whistleblower just came out about the debate that they had and how it was rigged between the DNC, Kamala Harris's campaign, and ABC. I haven't had a chance to even read through all of that yet because I was on the retreat all day, had dinner, and now I'm here, literally. But there's so much to unpack here in the last 12 hours in regards to how this presidential election might unfold. And this is just another case that's going to, I think, strengthen Trump about whatever else is happening, whatever you believe in. I think that people don't believe in assassinations. I don't think that people believe in ruining democracy through attempts on someone's life. So we'll see. We'll see what the backlash about this is. We'll see what the backlash about the debate and the more news. I'm actually really excited to read about that. But look, we're in crypto. Donald Trump gets elected, likely our crypto bags are better. I said it on Wednesday. I'm not necessarily a Donald Trump fan, but I'm certainly far more not a Kamala Harris fan. And look, we only have two options, and that's challenging in our electoral cycle. So, look, I'm not going to tell someone who to vote for or what to do, but this is galvanizing, I think, moderates, independents, and obviously people that are already pro-Trump, because nobody wants to see this.
Absolutely. You know, the interesting thing is that all this stuff is happening and like coming out, like the truth and all that, right? When crypto is such a huge thing, right, for governments. I was talking with Will over here in the green room about how it's basically like the way that things are shaping up right now is that we've got a huge amount of money that's just pouring into like government candidates and, you know, presidential candidates and cabinets and stuff like that, trying to get as much in super PACs and all that, right? Trying to get as much positivity, like crypto positivity, as possible into the government to be able to allow for trillions and trillions of dollars to come in through really good regulations, you know? And that has been kind of the issue so far in the crypto industry. It's like BlackRock can't throw $10 trillion at the crypto industry because it's not regulated properly, right? It's like, oh, what's going to happen if we throw our money over there? You know, is it going to rug? You know, so that's part of the big thing that's happening right now. Is there's a lot of just trying to get clarity on exactly what the hell is going on in the crypto space. You know, what is allowed, what's not allowed, type of stuff. And I do think that this is definitely an interesting time. That, of course, crypto is like anti-government, and crypto is all about like freedom of speech movement and all that, right? All these people have always been like that, but it's just very interesting how all of a sudden we get Donald Trump back with freaking Elon Musk and you know, RFK and Ramaswamy and all these guys who are like, we want a free country. We do not want a giant cabal controlling everything. So we're going to do everything we can. And there's literally, you can witness, like, I don't know if it's a cabal, I don't know if it's the Illuminati, I don't know what specifically is going on here, but it's very clear that there is an in-group of people who are trying to control things. That's become extremely clear. And these attempts on Trump have been making it clear over and over and over again. And so, you know, I find it very interesting how crypto is playing a huge part of this. And you know what? I'm glad to be along for the ride. And I think you guys should be too, because this is a hell of a fun ride.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I'm totally with you on the sentiment of there's basically two types of leaders in this world, and this isn't necessarily with this election, but I'll say that, like, just regarding all sorts of people in the world. And I'm stealing this idea from Sami. Shout out to your friend Sami. I was listening to him earlier today as I was changing oil on my truck. There's two types of people in this world. There's good people and there's bad people. Generally, bad people are trying to remove control from you, and good people are generally trying to enable you to be more sovereign and to make more decisions, and to empower you with whether it's with tools, or whether it's with information, or whether it's with wealth or something. Good people are generally trying to empower you, or at least give you the platform to empower yourself. And bad people are generally trying to remove your power, remove your ability, remove your ability to do stuff. I should have thought of another word there, but it's a super duper. Yeah. Freedom of movement, freedom of speech, right to like defend yourself, protect yourself. You know, a lot of the things that are in the oh shoot, I can't think of the name of them. The amendment, not the amendments. Is it the amendments? I think it's the amendments to the Bill of Rights and all that stuff. And all those fancy schmancy government documents that the United States used to be founded upon and really value a whole lot more than we do nowadays. But the point is that as you go through life, you want to try and boil down, and this is another theme that I talk about oftentimes, is people are either at war with you, where they're trying to impose their own will on you, or on, like, they're trying to get you to do the thing that they want to do by force, or they're trying to help you accomplish the goals that like, you're either at war or you're in cooperation, right? And it's dependent on what the other person is trying to, what actions they're taking to affect you. They're either forcing their stuff on you, or they're helping you get your own stuff done. That's how I see it all. It's war and cooperation, war and friendship, war and love, whatever you want to call it. Sovereignty versus, authority, or not authority, authoritarianism, all that stuff. So that's what I see. And when I look at the two candidates of Kamala and Trump, I agree with both of you guys. They're not my favorite people in the world at all. Like, we've got 350 million people in America. And the fact that these are our two top choices doesn't really sit well with me. I'd much rather see Bobby up there, RFK Jr. I'd much rather see, God forbid, Joe Jorgensen or Rand Paul, or I don't know.
Even liking Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy. Yeah, or even Bernie Sanders, for goodness sakes.
Musk.
Yeah, or Musk. Just people that are out there doing things that are trying to empower other people, rather than just guys that are trying to say sound bites for a TV camera or trying to win a popularity contest. I want to see people that are of substance, of action, have legitimate drive and ambition in service of others rather in service of themselves. So it is what it is. We've essentially got to pick two, silly choices, and it's I suppose this is the world that we live in. It's not my terribly favorite thing. I know we've talked about it before. I would much prefer some sort of ranked choice thing, which comes with its own set of problems or its own set of whatever the heck. But the fact that we have to choose between two silly options just doesn't sit very well with me, So those are my thoughts. All that to say, it sucks that Trump's getting shot at. It's terrible. It's awful. And that shouldn't happen to any political candidate. And if it does happen, then it is going to have galvanizing effects for whoever his base is. And if there's people that are on the fence, it's more likely than not to have people jump over onto that side, the side where they see that someone's getting picked on is the wrong word. But America has a tendency to root for the underdog, or to root for the person that's being opposed. Or if you're out in the street and you see someone start trying to beat up another dude, the instinctive thing to do is to jump in and help the guy who got jumped. That's the thing that human beings generally want to do. So whether it's justified or it's unjustified, or this, that, or the other thing, whenever somebody sees someone exerting force on another person, the instinctual thing to do is to try and stop that from happening, and pick the side of the person that's being sought after or victimized or acted upon with force or something like that. So I totally agree. I'm on the same boat as you guys. Go ahead, Nate.
Well, it's the American spirit, because that's what it originally started with us trying to get away from the king, because the king was a jerk, basically. And then we were trying to get away from the tea taxes. And
look, the tea taxes were just the last straw that broke the camel's back. One of the biggest things that started the American Revolution was the writs of assistance, where anyone that worked for the British military could go into your home, and you would have to put them up. You could you'd have to feed them for as long as that they wanted to stay there. And also, if they thought that you had any goods untaxed in your house, they could arrest you, or they could say, hey, you have to pay tax on this house. Guess where that money is going to? So there was no control over the government in being intrusive into their lives. And Will, this is what you were just talking about, right? We don't want people to be intrusive for no particular reason. We want our rights and we want our freedoms. And that's why our country was built upon. Look, again, taxes, yeah, sure. But that was just the straw that broke the camel's back. That wasn't the thing that was the biggest issue at that time. I think the writs of assistance was one of the biggest ones. Nonetheless, that's not what I was going to say. Another thing is, there's a lot going on in our world right now. And look, we're going to get off politics soon. We're going to get back to crypto. But it's breaking news, and we want to talk about this a little bit. So we didn't plan on talking about this. It kind of just happened, and we were like, hey, we should talk about this. Because it does affect the markets. And I think that we need to keep anything that affects the markets in a secondary or a tertiary stance in play in our conversation. But I think there's other things going on in the world. I think that people are worried about the economy. That affects crypto. I think that people feel that Trump would be better from an economic scenario and a situation, which, again, would help crypto. Also, wars. People are really fed up with these wars that are killing millions of people. And we don't have anybody currently in the White House that has an open line to seemingly make any difference in either stopping these wars or coming to some sort of peaceful resolution, either one-sided or two-sided. Now you add in Trump trying to get assassinated, and this adds to that galvanization, right? There are things that people like about Trump, especially his base, obviously, but even some moderates and independents of things that are happening in the world currently. So I think that this is something that is potentially moving people in that direction. Now I had there was a Centurion 54X posted something. If you can't beat ideas, can you pull that up, Will, or Miss Producer? Can't beat ideas, silence the speaker.
Let me see.
I thought that was a poignant.
I think. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Miss Producer.
So I think this is poignant because one of the big fights right now is over freedom of speech. Right? Look at the UK. Look at Brazil. Brazil just banning X. So because they don't want free speech. All around the world. In fact, in the UK, they're taking prisoners out of prison. They're releasing them early on their sentence so they can put people into prison that are spreading fake news on social media. That's really happening.
It's nuts, man.
It's
absolutely
crazy.
Nuts.
That's really dangerous, man.
So
that is really dangerous.
So my point is there's a battle over free speech. And the point, what he's trying to say here is Trump potentially being a proponent of free speech. And look, you have to take every politician with a grain of salt because they're going to say what you want them to hear, right? They're going to say what you want them to say to try to get elected. But if you compare one side to the other, I do believe that Trump is more pro-free speech than Kamala and the Democratic machine. Now, that's just my opinion. It could be wrong. But there's certainly things that he's saying that people don't want to hear. And that's a way to suppress speech, right? Look at all of our presidential assassinations previously. Why was Abraham Lincoln assassinated? Because people didn't want to talk about freedom of slaves, freedom of black people. You know, they didn't like the way that he was talking. Kennedy. This is a whole thing. And man, I hope if Trump gets elected that the JFK assassination files come out. Because man, that would be some good stuff to read. That would be good stuff to read. But don't get me wrong. JFK was assassinated for his beliefs. Don't mince words there. Everyone's assassinated is because someone's afraid of someone's speech. Someone's afraid of what they're going to do. And even look at Pope John Paul II. You know, that man was trying to be assassinated because he was preaching forgiveness. He's preaching Christ. Now, guess what? He almost gets assassinated. He gets shot. Then he meets with the person that shot him later on and forgives him. So he was trying to be silenced as well. And he was he did a lot of great things for this world. If you're Christian or Catholic or not, the man did great things for this world. And anytime that people are doing or trying to do things that people don't want to hear or see, maybe they try to assassinate them. And so it is a suppression of speech. It's a form of suppression of speech, which we're seeing going on in our world right now.
There's you're reminding me of something, Brendan, and I can't remember who I heard this from, what podcast or what it was. It could have been Sami. It could have been one of the pundits that I listened to, or it might have even been from an audiobook or something. But I remember hearing, like, you never hear about people trying to assassinate, members of the Federal Reserve or members of the industrial war machine, or all the folks that are behind essentially the money printing and the war export business, there's probably some oil assassination attempts, but it's never the large industrial players behind the scenes or anything. It's always the people that are trying. The assassination attempts are always against the folks that are trying to empower people with information, whether it's Malcolm X or MLK, like Martin Luther King, frickin' Andrew Jackson, all the guys that you had named, frickin' Reagan. There's an assassination attempt on Reagan. It's always the ones that are. And perhaps this is just my bias. I'm sure that there's other people that have been assassinated that were, controlling people, but as far as I'm concerned, there's a pattern, but of course I might be cherry picking data. I definitely have a bias. But I agree with you 110%, bro. That was an interesting point that came up in that whatever man. Shout out to whoever I was listening to that was talking about that. Man, what a great talking point.
Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Those are good names as well.
Yeah, and they were on the opposite ends of the spectrum. You know, MLK was like, hey, let's do things peacefully, and Malcolm X was like, hey, let's force them to deal with us. You know, but they were both trying to get they were both trying to empower people to be more free and get more of what they want out of life. So that was just something that I thought was interesting. Do we have any more thoughts on this on the Trump subject, or on the subject of sovereignty, or anything of that before we move on?
I think we can move on. I mean, we don't have a lot of facts on this case yet, so
okay.
Be interested what more comes out. But I think it was important for us to bring out, because look, it's a potentially it would be a world defining event if someone actually succeeded, and that's scary.
Okie doke, excellent. I'm going to do another round of chat shoutouts, and then we'll roll right on into talking about Bitcoin, and specifically MicroStrategies. Good old Michael Saylor's company. I don't think he's CEO or related to the company anymore, but we're gonna talk about them next. So, Mrs. Producer, let's go ahead and get ready for some chat shoutouts, everyone. So, oh, I had it upside down. There we go. Chat shoutouts. So, time for some chat shoutouts. We've got our fellow based crypto bro, Chad Donnerschwanz. Chad, welcome. He says, hello, fellow based crypto bros. It's always good to see you, man. I love seeing your predictable intros. It's always great whenever the audience members, like, they always form their same, like, hey, I'm here, you know. Crypto Sloth does his yo. Wild SJ always appears. Chad's always like, hey, fellow based crypto bros, and Centurion's always, or almost always, the first one in the chats saying what's going on and everything. So it's good to see you guys. We love to have you here. Up next, we've got our very own mood-pilled Rational Optics. Hey, Degens, since when did Fabio join the roundtable? I think he might be talking about you, Nate. I'm not sure who Fabio is. Is this some sort of inside joke?
Fabio is an Italian model with long hair and very clean skin. And Nate, honestly,
okay,
you can go with your shave.
Excellent. Oh my goodness. Dude, that's not too far off. I like that. That's good. You could totally be Fabio, Nate.
Fabio was very famous for a long time.
Yeah. Nate, when you got your beard going on, bro, you look a little bit like the Dread Pirate Roberts, I think. But without the beard, you do look a little bit like Fabio. You got the same, like, bone structure and face layout. So shout out to Moon-Pilled Rational Optics. By the way, I am still planning on swinging by and seeing you tomorrow, Moon-Pilled. So more details to come in Telegram. I'll hit you up over there. Let's see.
So my options are basically to be either a pirate or to be a model, I guess.
Yeah, dude. What terrible options. I mean, come on,
a
bro.
A Viking. Honestly, Nate, you have a lot of European look to you. You could be.
I literally, if you go into my blood, I'm literally like just all Viking.
I can tell by your features. You freaking look. You look literally like you're from that part of the world.
Hey.
And of course, you live in Minnesota, right? Or I don't want to dox you.
Minnesota Vikings, go figure, right?
So I don't know if anyone knows this, but the largest, like, Norwegian Viking population outside of Norway is actually Minnesota.
Wow,
I did not know that.
Crazy. I did not know that.
So your blood is very likely from there, yeah.
Crazy,
excellent.
Huh?
Well, shout out to all the Norwegians, the Minnesotans, the all the Vikings out there in the real world. This is excellent. Let's roll right back on into chat shoutouts. Next up, we got Hex again, Lost in Asia, saying impede progress. I think that he's referring to how other people try and stop folks from doing things. So you're absolutely right. We want to avoid folks that are impeding our progress, whatever that might be. Surround yourself with friends that are going to help you get the things done that you want to get done. The people that are going to empower you, the people that are going to, you know, even if it's at their own like temporary inconvenience or something like that. You want to be surrounded with people who love you and people who are out there to help you accomplish the things that you're going to accomplish. So Absolutely right, Hexkin Lost in Asia. Good to see you, bro. Semper Fi. I can't wait to till I go over there and meet you, broski. It's going to be great. Miss Producer, before we go, or actually, we'll finish up the starred chats, but there's some other chats that I want to shout out as too. So let's go ahead and continue with the starred ones. I will read them off as we find them. But next up, we got Hex Glenn saying hi all. Howdy ho, Glenn. I'm Mr. Hanky. It's good to see you, broski. Welcome to the chats. Welcome to the stream. I love it. Nate, we have a chat here from our good friend, the Ascending Man, Mr. Nate Mageddit of the Degen Roundtable.
Not that one yet.
We're not doing that. Oh, is that like topic?
Started for a reason.
Okay.
Yeah, when we get there to talk about it.
Okay, excellent. All right, so I'm gonna scroll up a little bit and let's see. There was some stuff that I wanted to talk about shortly after. Let's see. If you can't beat the ideas, silence the speaker. That was absolutely right. Nate's looking sharp. Accords, Bill of Rights. Oh yeah. So Niles Jenkins was correcting me. So Mrs. Producer, at 25 after the hour mark, Niles Jenkins dropped the Bill of Rights comment. So yes, it is called the Bill of Rights, not the articles or the whatever the heck it was that I was trying to talk about. So absolutely right. Miss Producer, 2 comments down from that, we've got Jemmy saying that she agrees with me 100% that violence is not a solution. I will say that violence should be one of the later solutions. And again, this kind of depends on the severity with which people are trying to stop you from getting your goals accomplished, and also the importance of the thing that needs to happen. So if like people are trying to take your lives, then violence is the #1 solution. But if it's not necessary, then yeah, we should try violence as the last resort, you know. And again, there's an escalation of force ladder that has to be met in order for violence to be deemed appropriate in things. It's like, you don't try violence, you know, as the first step if somebody's, you know, like if a kid's taking candy out of your store or something, right? There's a time and a place for everything. And I will say that, like, when it comes to political stuff, violence is only necessary when violence is the next thing that the other guy's going to use. So if you can beat them to the punch, then you know, stay alive and keep doing your stuff. Or if you suspect other people are going to do violence to you, then beat them to it. That's it. Not financial advice, not personal advice. This is my own 2 cents and my own opinions. You guys are free to do the things that you wish, but that's what I would do regarding violence. I just don't think it's appropriate in many situations. And when people are trying to kill somebody who's golfing because they don't like the man or because they disagree with him, then that's perhaps like they might find themselves having bad information or just bad motivations or doing anything.
That's just an evil human being in general.
Yeah, that is an evil human being that's looking for stuff that's they're looking to solve problems like too inappropriately.
Else. They are not an ascending man.
Correct. That's good. I like that. Mrs. Producer, there's another comment from Moonpilled Rational Optics at 34 minutes after the top of the hour. The red versus blue one, if you could bring that up. Why is this turning out like red versus blue, Crips versus Bloods, Republicans versus Democrats? When I saw red versus blue, I immediately thought like Rooster Teeth with the Halo series. And I was like, yes, it's always freaking red team versus blue team, you know? So yeah, there is definitely a pattern. I also saw this fantastic comic one time, Moonpilled. And for anyone who's a fan of the trolley problem, it's the one where you're like on top of a bridge and there's a large man, a fat man on the bridge with you, and you see a trolley coming down the train, and the trolley's going to hit 5 people that are like tied onto the train tracks, and the only way that you can stop the train from hitting these 5 people is by pushing the person off of the bridge onto the train tracks, and it will, you know, stop the trolley or whatever. The point is, do you choose to sacrifice 1 person to save 5 or whatever the case may be? I saw a funny meme variation of that like political, or not political, that philosophical conversation starter where it was like, instead of pushing a man onto the tracks, you have a lever that when you pull it one way or another, it changes the trolley color from blue to red, and the trolley is going to run over an infinite number of people. But every 4 years, you can pull the lever one way or the other. So I thought that was pretty funny. So shout out to the Reds versus Blues, the Black versus Whites, the Asians versus the Africans. You know, whatever the tribes are that folks are trying to get us upset with, so that way we disagree with each other and do all that sort of stuff. So I believe that is everything that we've got. That's something that's all that I wanted to cover for chat shoutouts. I guess Mr. Kenturian 54X, Mrs. Producer, he just put up a comment about 3 minutes ago at 42 minutes after the hour. Is violence the final solution? Sometimes violence is the first solution. As you'll see when we're sailing the seas later on, Mr. Kenturian, sometimes we're just going to start by shooting the cannons and trying to sink the other pirate ships. Sometimes we'll go up and try and negotiate with them. You know, it all just depends on the context of the situation. But that's the general idea with that. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes chat shoutouts for now. I want to remind you guys to remember to smash that like button. That's the only thing that I'm going to ask you to do. Later on, I've got another task for you to do, but for now, the only thing to do is smash that like button. So go ahead and click it, and we're going to move right on. Don't worry, Brendan. I'll ask him to do the other thing at another point, so that way they only have one task to do at any given point in time. We don't want to flood them with too much information here. So excellent. All right, guys, the next thing that we're going to talk about is Michael Saylor buying, well, Michael Saylor, MicroStrategies, all it's like we use them interchangeably, but realistically they're two separate entities, right? But the MicroStrategy has recently acquired 18,300 Bitcoin for approximately $1.1 billion. So that's pretty cool. This happened earlier on Friday, I believe, right, Brendan? I think it was Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe it was Friday.
Okie dokie. Do you have an article for that? I think I saw it in the.
Yeah, I can pull it up if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah, you could pull it up or run through the general notes of it. But I do like it whenever the zealots follow through with the actions that they portray themselves as always taking. But
why don't we pull up his tweet? I'll share my screen. We can pull up his tweet. That'll at least give us basic.
Yeah, go ahead, broski. Whenever you're ready, Mrs. Producer, if you don't mind pulling up Brendan's screen over there.
There you go. So zoom in there a little bit so everybody can see that better.
Ooh, that's good. I like that.
So this just is quick and to the point. There are articles, but look, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy have been the biggest proponent of Bitcoin.
You just muted yourself, Brendan. Check. Oh, there we go.
I was cleaning. I don't like dirt on my keyboard. I was just like cleaning it off, and I accidentally muted myself.
All good, broski.
But yeah. So I was to say Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy is one because of him is the biggest proponent in Bitcoin in the world, in my opinion. And you could say Kathy Woods is up there. She's a big proponent as well. But this man continues to put money where his mouth is. So this is the largest purchase of Bitcoin dollar-wise they have made, MicroStrategy, since they started accumulating Bitcoin. So 1.11 billion. It's about the same as their largest previously, which was 1.1 billion, if memory serves me. But look, he bought this at 60,000. Okay.
Yeah.
60,000. We're right about 60,000 now. He puts his money where his mouth is, and he believes long term. And he's said this multiple times. They're like, hey, when are you going to sell your Bitcoin? He's like, I'm not selling my Bitcoin. This is my exit strategy. I'm exiting the financial markets and fiat for Bitcoin. That is what I want. And that is what I want to hold long term. And even at buying at 60,000, when we talk about dollar cost averaging, they've been buying over 4, 5, 6 years now. Actually, I could pull up a tweet. Crypto, there is somebody that actually tweeted about this, and maybe I'll find it. We can bring it up in a bit. But they showed every MicroStrategy purchase, how many dollars and how many Bitcoin and at what price. So that was pretty telling. But look, this just shows that if you truly believe in something, then if you're buying at 20,000 or 25,000 or 60,000, if you think it's going to 250,000 in the future, then the time to buy is when you have the opportunity to buy. Now, look, we don't want to buy green candles. We want to buy generally red candles. But I think this shows that he believes that this Bitcoin cycle isn't close to over. And overall, we have had, for about a week or so, we had some outflows in the ETF segment. But overall, we haven't had any really strong outflows overall. In this past several days, it's been more in than out, which is good. But the institutions aren't overwhelmingly selling their positions. And MicroStrategy and other companies are starting to increase their positions. And we're starting to see more and more countries start to approve sale of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And that's going to continue to happen. And the UK is trying to get crypto to be considered a piece of property instead of just a random asset. So, we'll see how that goes. But look, MicroStrategy, if they continue to push this narrative, I think it's going to help adopt more and more people that will buy through institutions. So I think that they are someone that's not only helping themselves and helping the crypto because they want to buy crypto, but it's also saying, hey, this guy's buying at 60,000, $1 billion. Where's this going this cycle? So I do think that it's a potential to get other people excited. And if you look at what some of the hedge fund managers are saying about crypto, it's unreal. And the only people that are generally selling are you, not hopefully the people in our channel, but retail. And I don't want to say to buy or not to buy, but I did buy this past week. Pulse Chain, PulseX, Hex, and Ink. Literally the day before everything started popping off. That felt nice. Felt like
oh man,
that was like
very nice.
My most recent DCA, and that felt nice. Anyway, we're not getting to Pulse Chain yet. We'll get that later. But my point is, my only point was, if you have conviction and you believe in something long term, then hit the green button. If you don't believe in something, or you're too oversaturated and you don't have a good way to manage your risk, then maybe you need to sell something and get into less risky assets. But Michael Saylor believes in Bitcoin. I believe in Bitcoin. I believe in Pulse Chain. I believe in PulseX, Hex Inc. I believe in a lot of things. And the things I have conviction in, I'm buying even if they're down at their lowest point, if I truly still believe.
That's the best time to buy, is when they're the lowest. If you believe in the value of diamonds and you see people selling diamonds for pennies, that's the time to buy the diamonds. You don't want to buy the diamond for a diamond price when you believe in the diamonds. You want to buy them when they're low. That's the difference between wealthy people and poor people. Is poor people, or like poor in the mindset, are folks that buy things at value to have the thing at value and to just do that. But that's not how you generate wealth. That's not how you break out of the rat race. You break out of the rat race by getting valuable things at discount whenever people that are desperate consider them to be invaluable, or whenever they're just like, oh, I need to cash in on it right now. You want to find motivated sellers when you're a motivated buyer. You don't want to be a motivated buyer when you're just in a regular normal marketplace. And I will say that Michael Saylor's purchases at 60,000 for like per each individual Bitcoin, like that's pretty interesting to see, because they're like, MicroStrategies is no small financial institution. They've been around for a while, and I think that they played a part in the .com crash. Brendan, were we talking about that last week, or was that another gentleman on Whiskey Wednesday? I can't quite remember.
I don't believe it was me.
Okay. Well, somebody was talking about MicroStrategy and the role that they played during either the 2008 crash or the .com bubble thing. I think that MicroStrategy might have bought the top then as well. Man, I wish I could remember who was saying that. It might have been Coach.
Will, let me tell you. Can I add something to
Yeah, go ahead.
So the last 4 purchases for MicroStrategy and Bitcoin, okay?
Yeah.
1.1 billion at 60K, 786 million at 65K, 623 million at 67K, and 820 million at 68K. Their last 4 purchases have been north of 60,000, equaling almost 3 billion. Almost 3 billion.
Good God.
That's insane. So
yeah,
Michael Saylor has a little bit of a different strategy than us, because his vision is long-term hold. If you're looking at just buying in the 4-year cycle and selling in the 4-year cycle, then yeah, you want to accumulate as many coins as you want. Buying.
I think we lost you there for a second, Brendan.
He's back. I can hear him.
Nope.
Hello?
You are on mute.
Sorry.
All good.
He's worrying about scarcity. He's buying Bitcoin at such a large amount that he's worried about being able to continue to buy it. So his only goal is to accumulate as much as he can when he can. because look, Bitcoin is becoming more scarce, and he's worried about the scarcity aspect. Good or bad, will Bitcoin go below 40,000 again after this bull run? Who knows? Will it go below 60,000 if we hit 200,000? Who knows? Michael Saylor isn't taking chances. He's accumulating what he believes in when he has the opportunity and the free cash flow to do it. But it's different than what we're trying to teach people to do, right? A little bit, slightly different.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, if I can speak on that, what Michael Saylor is doing is the entire idea of like, if you can print money, you print money and then you go and you buy land, right? And you're exchanging those dollars, what people think is real money, like the dollars, okay? You exchange those for things that are actually real, okay? Now, perhaps I think that Michael Saylor is looking at Bitcoin this way. Bitcoin is real money. Dollars are not real money. You can just print them out of thin air, just for no reason, right? And so what he's thinking is, what I think he's thinking, right, in my opinion, is what he's doing is he's taken as much of the dollars, like as much fiat as possible, and he is exchanging them for Bitcoins. He doesn't care about the price against the dollar. And that's the thing that, like, we look at that ratio of Bitcoin to the dollar, right? Because what we want is we want to buy a low dollar, right, Bitcoin, have it go to a higher dollar Bitcoin, and then sell it for more dollars. However, that's technically not what you actually want to do, but the only reason why we're doing that is because we want to provide a better life for our family, to use crypto as a wealth gaining tool, right? Wealth gaining vehicle. So that way we can acquire much more dollars and then buy the things that we actually want to buy, right? And then possibly later on, we can start taking all that fiat after we've gotten the life that we want, that we have attained the dollars to be able to buy the life we want. And then from there, we can start buying the Bitcoins, right? From there, we can start buying what we think is real money. But we're not in Michael Saylor's position, you know? And so when you're looking at someone and you're like, what an idiot, he's buying the top of Bitcoin. It's like, he doesn't care about the price. He doesn't care about the ratio, okay, of dollars to Bitcoin. He just wants the coins. He doesn't care about fiat. And so I think that's what he's doing. I also believe that that's kind of what these institutions are doing as well. They want to transfer over from the current financial system, which is going to collapse. It's basically already dead thanks to 2008, right? The 2008 collapse. It's basically already dead. The money printer is what's keeping it alive right now. And something has to break and just die off, right? It's gonna freaking die eventually here. And so where do we go from there? And I think a lot of these institutions know that we're in a really stuck system. But then Bitcoin comes along and is like, hey, this is a life raft. It's a way out. And so I think what they're doing is they're just taking as many dollars as possible and just trying to buy up the Bitcoins.
I'm inclined to agree with you that especially with these mountainous amounts of money that they're moving at this time, maybe they know something I don't know. Or maybe they're just super convicted or something like that. I'm inclined to believe that they're smarter than me because they're a massive financial institution, you know? So, but yeah, like this, they are putting their money where their mouth is. And that's super awesome. Brendan, do you have any more thoughts on this? Okay, go ahead with your thoughts. I've got actually some kind of cool articles that are similar to this topic, but go ahead.
I got one more tweet to share from Crypto T. Shout out to Crypto T. Came onto our show, I don't know, several months ago. If you can bring that up, that would be great. I will start talking about it until that gets pulled up. But essentially, she's showing every purchase that MicroStrategy made from the beginning. Now, this first purchase, 175 million at 10,000, that was August 2020. So Will, one of the things that you'll notice is that they're buying low and they're buying high. They bought low. They bought the high, right near the high of last cycle, 57K, 59K, 52K. So look, last cycle, the most they bought was 1 billion at one of the highest numbers, 52K. My point is, after they bought the high and Bitcoin went back down to 20,000, MicroStrategy's tank share, and all of the news medias were writing, "Oh, MicroStrategy was wrong to invest in Bitcoin. They're down 40% on their investment," or whatever the case is at the time, and now they're up so much money. But look, it's not what the price is. He's just buying consistently, and I say him, Micro Sailor, because it's sort of his baby. He's the one behind MicroStrategy. But look, everything, and every time he gets a chance, he's buying at these high numbers. Because I don't know, can't read the future. He's worried that we'll never see these numbers again. He's worried that, look, Bitcoin is going to have this revolutionary takeoff that it could go from 60 to 400K and never see these numbers close again. And so he just wants to ensure that he has the coins whenever he has the ability to buy them. So look at this list from low to high, buying from August 2020 at 10,000, 59K, the high of last bull market. And now he's buying at what some people would say is the highs of our current bull market. Now I think we're going to go much higher, but this is crazy. Like, they've had a lot of purchases and they're just buying when they can buy. I think this just shout out to Crypto G. Thanks for putting that up. Good information.
Excellent. That was what you had on that then, Brendan?
Yes, sir.
So okay, cool. I didn't want to you had mentioned earlier, oh shoot, where was it? About legal entities recognizing, hang on, I gotta scroll through my my list of article titles here. So this happened earlier on Friday. In the United Kingdom, the High Court rules that Tether is legally considered property after new regulations kick in, and this is something that's super duper interesting. I'm going to see if I can pull up the actual. I know I can't pull up the actual article, but this was a headline earlier. So you were talking about like property regulations and how there's legal recognition for Bitcoin, with it being a spot ETF, Ethereum also being a spot ETF. There's also another article that I ran across later is that Grayscale is starting to do some stuff for, I believe it's XRP. Grayscale is starting to do, I can't remember what it's called, but Grayscale to launch its first US XRP trust, paving the way for the potential ETF in the future. So there might be some stuff for XRP guys out there, that all the people that have been holding Ripple, holding XRP that Ripple's been dumping on for like the last 10 years or so, that like there might be some cool stories coming in for that. Also, man, like Coinbase has launched their own little wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum on Base. So like there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on as far as like sovereignty and more tools, and some of it's like, you know, like the XRP and the ETF thing. That's whatever, but there's more tools that are being created. There's more like legal recognition for the stuff that we already have. There's more like potential regulations flooding into this zone that we're at. So I just think that it's a super cool. Oh, okay, yeah. So literally on Wednesday, the United Kingdom government introduced the bill to recognize crypto as personal property and to give owners greater legal protection. That was from CoinDesk. And then on Friday is when the High Court ruled that Tether is legally considered property. So it's like, I don't know if those two things were identical, if it was the same court case or the same something or other in that world, but I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Like, legal property in the United Kingdom, meaning I don't know what the UK's laws are regarding like the ability for the crown to like take things from people that's like not considered property, or like to seize some stuff. But I think that was some pretty cool stuff that's happening there. Any thoughts on either of those things that I've mentioned?
Well, I think that's absolute BS.
Oh,
yeah, you can't take things from people. I mean, come on, unless you're.
Well, yeah, yes. You're correct on that. Can you? We're on the same page. Can you explain further?
Yeah. Well, no. Like, okay, so if you're in a free country, right, and supposedly the UK is supposed to be free, right? Mm-hmm. Then why is the government? Yeah, ish, right? Why is the government able to just say, "Hey, it's mine now"? It's like that. You don't give any hope to any citizens at that point. Why do they live? They're living just to live at that point. It's like they know that at any point in time, if you don't abide by the laws and exactly what it is that they want you to do, you own absolutely nothing at that point, because they can just come by and take it and say, hey, it's your fault for not, abiding by exactly what we said to say. It's the same sort of deal about what's happening right now. And here's the deal. Places like freaking Canada, Australia, like the UK, these are all places that they're just testing out ways that they can then later move on into the United States. I mean, when you're talking about the freedom of speech over there, the problem that's happening right now in the UK. Well, I mean, how long until they're going to move that over here to the United States? They've already been trying to do that. They first did the whole like removing free internet over there, right?
Yeah.
Any website you went on, you're being tracked entirely. Your computer's being tracked.
Oh, what's that called? The Five Eyes that Australia, the UK, New Zealand, America, and I can't remember the other one, where they essentially like spy on their own citizens using servers in other Western countries. Am I thinking of the right thing?
I think that's spying on other countries. So those are the Five Eyes, looking at what other countries are doing.
It's the FBI using servers in Australia to spy on the American citizens using foreign.
Okay, So the Australians are looking into what U.S. Citizens are doing. Why is that happening? When in truth, it's actually the FBI. The three-letter agencies.
Yeah, like we're borrowing their servers to basically look at our own citizens, because it's illegal sort of illegal to look at your own citizens surreptitiously. Well, I mean, anything since the Patriot Act, they just gotta like declare it as national emergency or whatever. Speaking of, there's another the national emergency for like election. Oh shoot, I can't remember what it's called, but it was election interference, national emergency for like election interference by like foreign countries and stuff. There's an executive order that's been just basically repeating itself since 2018, and it just got renewed for another 12 months. It's just basically like, oh yeah, we're in a national emergency because the foreign countries they're fucking with our stuff, which they probably are, realistically speaking. But like, I'm looking at the American government declaring national emergencies. Shoot, I didn't mean to fly off on another little topic here, but it's just like it's all part and parcel of the like, what does government say you can do? What can you do? This is the whole point of crypto, breaking free, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's freedom of movement and freedom of speech, right? It's it's all about freedom. And that was the entire point of crypto in general in the first place, right? And so like what's going to end up happening here is they're going to test out all these things. Oh, you can't have free internet. Okay, well, they tried to do that in America, in the United States too. Very vehemently rejected, thank God. But now the freedom of speech thing, and now it's just like they can just come and take anything. They're trying this stuff out over there. The citizens won't speak up over there like they will here. The American spirit is still very strong, and the American spirit is leave me the hell alone to do whatever I want to do, right? That is the American spirit. And so the second we have government start popping up saying, well, you have to do like this, you can't say this, you can't say that, you have to say pronouns and words and stuff like that. It's like us Americans, the first thing we do is just literally go, no. And we're gonna sick people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk on your asses,
Yep. You don't control me.
Absolutely.
Things of that nature. There's Brendan, to bring it back to what you were talking about earlier with Bitcoin. I see this blip earlier from Monday. Michael Saylor on CNBC live on the air says that Bitcoin is going to $13 million. So that was a fun thing. So hey, there's some hopium for you guys back at home. And this is probably why Michael Saylor's.
By what year? Did he say year?
I didn't watch the whole thing. Let me see if I can find that. But I think during the Bitcoin conference, he said 2049 or something like that. That's the number that's coming off the top of my head, but sorry for you old folks. Yeah. Hey, if Bitcoin goes to 13 million, I won't complain. But like, the problem is if bread costs, $400,000 at that point, it's like, well, shoot. Well, at least you hedged against inflation or something like that. But
right.
There's something to be said for that man's conviction. He has got a lot of conviction regarding that. Ooh, Speaking of prices and things, any final thoughts before I switch to something new and now for something completely different?
Yeah, I mean,
My
I'll
final
just say that Kathy Wood, she loves to give predictions. I think she said last month that Bitcoin would go to like 3.8 million by 2030. Imagine
Holy
that.
smokes! I don't know what these guys are
This is
smoking,
moon
man.
math, right? Like, this is moon math. Don't take this,
Yeah.
this with a grain of salt. Like, this is campfire stories, as Will Stevenson likes to say. But there are
Exactly.
people that have this type of conviction.
Yep, I'm using my phone right now. Otherwise, I would hold my phone up to the computer with the little campfire stories thing for you guys. But man, yeah, that's absolutely right. All right, let me check the comments, make sure I didn't miss anything here. My laptop had passed out on the StreamYard, so I totally missed that. Oh, looks like we got some new chats to shout out. You guys, let's roll through. You guys okay with me doing some chat shout outs real quick? Brendan, Nate?
Yeah.
Nate, it looks like you're okay. All right, sweet. So, Mrs. Producer, if you don't mind, let's go ahead and hop into the next part of the show. Chat shout outs, baby. So we got my very own brother, Samuel Stevenson. Like the video. He is absolutely right, folks. Like that video. Smash the like button. Actually, I tell you what, since I already told you guys to like the button or to hit the like button earlier, I'm going to twist it a little bit and I'm going to say go ahead and subscribe to the show. If you guys aren't already subscribed to the Degen Roundtable, go ahead and smash that subscribe button down there on the bottom so that way you can track when we go live, which, by the way, oh, shoot, I don't have my background up. I normally have my background thing right up here that says that we go live 8 o'clock every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you're in Central Time, that's 7 o'clock. If you're over on the West Coast, it's 5. If you're in South Africa, it's 3 a.m. Oh, shoot, and I can't remember what time it would be in Australia. I want to say it's like, oh man, maybe like noon or 10 o'clock or something like that. Forgive me, Australians. You guys are one of my favorite countries, but I don't know what the time zone is. But we go live at 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays for either talking to guests or to talking to you guys, doing Whiskey Wednesday. So Wednesday is our networking show where we're talking to people, having a good time. Fridays is our book club where we talk about the latest book that we've read and the fun things that we think about it. And then Sundays, like you guys are seeing today, is our news show where we cover the news and everything that's happened over the last week in the crypto sphere, macroeconomics, things of that nature. So yeah, subscribe to our show so that way you guys can check us out. And let's roll right on back into chat shoutouts. Mrs. Producer, let's see, we just did Sam. So next up, we got Mr. Beyond All. RH was the main criticized of mainstream, and who is laughing now after his top Ethereum buy. Was the main criticized of MS, and who is laughing now after his top ETH buy. I'm not sure what your point is. Also, the grammar is a little bit confusing, but I'm going to say that, yeah, RH or somebody who owns all the sacrifice funds that Richard Hart probably organized bought the Ethereum top with a lot of the DAI on Ethereum shortly before all the Pulse chain stuff that was going on. So that happened. Shout out to RH and everyone. So yeah, it is a bit silly. If you guys want to beat allegedly Richard Hart's purchase of Ethereum, then you guys can be buying it now, and you'll have a better chance at getting gains on it than he did. So that's it for the starred chat shoutouts. I'm going to scroll through here. We have Hex Glenn talking about the 5, 9, and 14 eyes. I'm not sure. I remember I said the 5 eyes. So I guess there's more of them. So shout out to Hex Glenn for correcting me there. That is excellent. And yes, Hex Glenn's next comment that the FBI is investigating an apparent attempt, assassination attempt on Donald Trump down in Florida. Yes, we covered that in the beginning of the show. There's some interesting but pretty mediocre details. They found him, and they arrested the guy. They got the gun. They did some stuff. It was not a very well organized attempt. So, MS stands for Michael Saylor is what Mr. Beyond will say. So not mainstream media stuff. So apologies for my bad interpretation. Mr. Beyond All has clarified. Mrs. Producer, would you mind pulling up the starred comment from Mr. Beyond All again? Richard Hart was the main criticizer of Michael Saylor, and who is laughing now after his top Ethereum buy. So I mean, Richard Hart and Michael Saylor, they're both buying the tops. So there's something to be said about that. What you got, Brendan?
I mean, the top at the moment. I don't think either of those are tops moving forward.
Sure.
That's the key word right
like
there.
Short term outlook, right? That's what Michael Saylor's going to have a longer term outlook. And just like Michael Saylor's worried about Bitcoin taking off and missing, Richard Hart, based on what was happening then, was a little worried about Ethereum taking off. And so he wanted to get in while he could and take a little bit more risk at that point. But look, I think ETH's going quite high, and we'll see. We'll see. Vitalik said that he was done dumping this week. He said in a tweet comment he was done dumping.
Yo,
that's fucking funny, man. Just
true story.
Oh, dude. Here's the scary thing, right? That you need to think about. So number one is like, yeah, Richard Hart did buy the local top. Okay, cool. Richard Hart is trying to do something to extract as much ETH as possible and then send it over into Pulse Chain. That's what he's trying to do. And so it's a little bit different if you're looking at it that way versus like, say, what I was talking about with Michael Saylor earlier, right? And yeah, so I can understand some people are going to get a bit salty over the idea of Richard Hart buying the local top. And here's the thing too, like we got to think about if Bitcoin hits $240,000 like Richard Hart said it would, that would mean we're looking at probably right around a $2,400, $24,000, $25,000 Ethereum. But the problem is the third cycle curse is legitimately a thing. Every single cryptocurrency goes through this third cycle curse. I think Dogecoin was the only one that escaped it, right? So I don't know, man. Like when you're looking at $25,000 ETH, I don't know. We might only hit 12. Maybe we only hit like
12. Oh no, 12.
Yeah.
no, only a 6. Only a 5x.
12, he's 4x his ETH earnings, and he rotated into Pulse Chain. Let's go.
Exactly. If we do hit 12, by the way, that's going to be more than $2 billion out of the Ethereum ecosystem into the Pulse Chain ecosystem. Don't miss that.
Hey, I mean, remember, guys, this isn't financial advice. None of us are, fortune tellers or experts. We're all theorizing potential things, but it's a good fucking story, right? We all like to hear this, and we all like to speculate on this. Things that happened before are not necessarily an indicator that similar things are going to happen in the future, but it's not unreasonable to say if A then B then C, perhaps D. So that's the token disclaimer that we have to throw in for our show there. Remember, guys, we don't really know what's going to happen, but we can certainly speculate and give you guys some hopium and things. So on the subject of speculation, and not quite on the subject of hopium, rather on the opposite, do you guys want to transition on over into talking about the Pulse copy of the LUSD and the stuff that it's been doing recently? Nate, I think that you were the one that wanted to touch up on this subject. Why don't you go ahead and give the folks at home a brief, or give them the news, bro. What's up? What's going on with this stuff?
Will, can you first just touch on what Liquidity USD is, and then about PLUSD?
Oh, it's liquid. It's Liquidity.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's their stable coin. Essentially, essentially they're a loaning platform.
Yes,
on ETH.
Yes, and that was forked over during the Pulse Chain snapshot, and there was a copy of a stable coin that's on Ethereum that was brought over to Pulse Chain. And with that copy, I think that where the smart contracts are copied and all of the everything, because it was an entire Ethereum state snapshot and copy. So all of the smart contracts that work on Ethereum work the same way over on Pulse Chain. So like MakerDAO with the DAI and the way that works, all the hex staking, all of the everything that's a smart contract or that is a token, as far as I'm aware, was copied over. So the copies that are on Pulse Chain they're not the same as far as like dollar value as the copies over on Ethereum. It's like when they copied all of the DAI over it and all of the USDC and all of the Tether, all of the stable coins on Ethereum, they're not worth $1 over on Pulse Chain as of now. Anyways, they're all worth like, you know, fractions of pennies or something like that. So PLUSD was the fork of this smart contract, and I don't remember exactly how it works, how they have the stablecoin functionality. Is it algorithmic? Is it backed by stuff? Is it or like collateralized? Do you guys know how it functions over on Ethereum, or any sort of background information before we talk about the price action?
Yeah, so Liquid Loans, Earn Protocol, and Flex, those are basically copies of Liquidity.
Okay.
So yeah, you know, it's the same sort of thing that happens over there. It's why a lot of people are actually looking at like Liquid Loans and being like, oh no, what happened there? Because they're thinking
so it's a collateralized stablecoin
with arbitrage, with arbitrage opportunities.
Yeah. Okay.
However, in this particular case, this is the copy. Okay, so it's the same sort of story, and what's happening right now. So long story short, what happened? Okay, so what happened? It rugged.
Yep.
Bam.
0. 100%.
What kind of rug? Because there's rugs where people pull liquidity. There's rugs where the contracts get an exploit and people basically print it to infinity and just sell. What was the type? Oh boy, look at that rug.
Yeah,
lots of dumping.
It was the latter. Essentially. So something's happened with PDI originally with MakerDAO. Like they had to shut off the MakerDAO contract being able to mint coins in PDI because like it was allowing you to mint with Pulse Chain what it considered the ETH price to be. So there are these things when this code gets copied over that don't necessarily work the same on Pulse Chain that they do on ETH because they're looking at different things. Essentially, Nate, I'm going to let you finish, but yeah, this got minted into oblivion.
Oof.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that, see this right here, the liquidity was actually pulled. Okay. This is the scary thing. So how did it get pulled? Well, this is brand new developing. Okay, guys. So it's brand new. It's developing. And we're still trying to figure out exactly what happened here. But as far as we can tell, basically, I believe it was this one. Yep. They were hacked. So they were hacked. Okay, were they actually hacked or was it an inside job? I don't know, but this is looking kind of funny because it's like 9mm had this happen too, right? A little bit interesting. And it wasn't the actual coin, it was actually just the staking part of 9mm. So like 9mm is actually technically still safe. It's just fine. However,
the exchange is safe. The exchange is
safe, but the just the staking part of it was hacked, right? Actually, no, that was an inside job technically. So, yeah, basically the idea right here is that it might have been like Arrow, Vlad, ETH, someone from there extracting your money out of Pulse Chain and sending it back over the bridge. That's kind of the idea of what's happening right now. Now, here's the thing. I think that there's some kind of like war on Pulse Chain currently because Degen got a lot of heat for 9mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was an inside job. People were looking at Degen because, you know, that's their thing, right? And they're like, oh, you know, Degen did this on purpose because they're not trustworthy because there's some bad oranges over there, you know? Okay. Well, yeah, that's gonna affect a lot of things like this. Orange man good, right? Which, by the way, Trump getting shot at dropped the price. Hilarious, right?
It's interesting how real life affects speculation on ones and zeros printed on the internet.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, so going over here, basically, yeah, another scam alert. This is a scam, blah, 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 all that crap going on. Oh, I told you so, and yeah, this stuff, I mean, it pops up. Here's the thing, guys. So, and then one last thing before we get into this, and I know Brendan, you have a lot to say about on this subject, but because LUSD is the whole like stable coins thing, right? That are copies. Of course, everyone's looking at PDI and thinking, oh, it's all PDI's fault, right? This is on the daily, man. Freaking bam. Just down.
This is 100% down everywhere that I'm looking. Yeah,
point down anyway.
0 to the 13th power. So there's 13 zeros before the next digit. So that's a lot of zeros.
17 zeros right here.
It's
Like,
gone. It's 100%. It's
Yeah.
100%
That's
down.
100% down. That's out.
Yeah, liquidity was pulled. It was literally pulled.
I think it was.
And
Well, I
as far
think
as
it
I know,
was.
they're back over.
I think there was an exploit because I think it was minted
Yes.
exponentially and then pulled.
That's exactly it. That's what they did.
Yeah. 1.7 trillion was sold for $4. That was the last market sell at basically 8 o'clock this morning over here on Eastern time. That is absolutely ridiculous. I'm looking at the LUSD PLUSDB chart for PulseX V2. There is no liquidity for this one either. Wow, that is that is
It was
unfortunate.
completely pulled. And here's the thing, guys. So like, there's a lot of people who want to sit there and say, "Oh, see, you need to be in RH coins only because of safety and blah blah blah." And it's like, all right. So first off, you need to know. Nobody knows, okay, when this is actually going to happen. All right.
Yeah.
Nobody knows if it's going to happen. Heck, it could happen to PulseX. It could happen to Pulse Chain. Now that'd be terrible, right? Awful, but it could. So when we're investing in this stuff, it's risky because these things can happen. Okay.
Yep.
Now this is the reason why you put in scratcher bets. You don't go all in on a single coin. Not only that, but like I got 40 coins all together, right? In my portfolio. The majority of these I've thrown probably about $100 at them, right? $100, right? And the only real ones that I truly believe in, right? Like the main core coins and a couple of other ecosystem coins that this talking specifically about Pulse Chain, right? A couple of other ones too. I will be I'm trying to, but I'll be making a long series of tweets on the sub communities that I believe in and the specific safer coins, like the core coins of those sub communities, right? I'll be talking about that. However, for today, what I would like to do is if you could bring up my tweet, or not my tweet, my comment here.
Share screen?
No, it's just right here. So yeah. So the P stables God trio is P DAI, USDC, USDT. It was never LUSD ever. Okay. That randomly popped up, and then it was like, hey, we're a part of this. And because everybody was the P DAI to $1 thing, because everybody was talking about that, this person literally created this PLUSD. It basically made it go up, started talking about it, and it's like, hey, it's connected. And now the Atropa ecosystem is just getting hated on and fudded on because one of their people left, right? Rugged them.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. They were never connected. But somebody, a parasite, connected them together. That's what happened there. So basically someone found a hack, was able to get in and be like, hey, I can rug this whenever I want. I know that the whole PDI thing is going on. If I connect this like a parasite to that popularity and people start putting money into it, then as soon as I'm ready, I can just take all the money and run.
They had another rug, didn't they, with Pulse Latina? They went one of the people on that. Well, it wasn't a rug. It was just a massive sell, right?
That was a scam.
No,
Pulse Latina was a scam.
Yeah, 100%.
Pulse Latina didn't exist. It was someone behind her.
Correct. Whoever the dude was that hired the actress.
Yeah, but I knew that was a scam from the get go, which I did tell our community. One of the things to note with PLUSD is that they have an oracle that's supposed to tell you the price of Pulse, Wrapped ETH, etc., so that you can mint stable coins or not mint stable coins. And it just takes a little bit of manipulation of this oracle that doesn't properly tell the price, because it's not made for this protocol. It's not made for Pulse Chain. And essentially, look, I haven't been able to dive deep into this. I already said I was on a retreat this weekend. But the little bit of research that I had been able to do did look like it was an oracle problem. So essentially they minted a bunch of coins and then sold it all. So it rugged everything.
Yeah.
And we'll look into it more. But look, the point is, everything that's a copy of a stable coin is going to be a bit more risky. Now, there are some coins, like, look, PDAI, they shut off minting. You can't mint PDAI on Pulse Chain anymore. So you don't have that oracle risk like you had with PLUSD, right? So there's automatically less risk in PDAI in some of these other copied stable coins than PLUSD, right? And so you have to understand the differences between the two. I'm not saying there is no risk in these other ones. They're meme coins, in my opinion, right? Could they go to $1? Sure. Will they ever get staked to $1? No, I don't believe so personally, based on how the contracts are written and how they would have to be collateralized. I just don't think it's possible. But that doesn't mean that I haven't owned PDI. That doesn't mean that I don't expect it to go up at some point in the future. And if we see PDI and some of these other stable coins fall more based on what happened with PLUSD, more sell-offs, I might just look to pick up a little bit more, because I sold almost all my PDI for a hefty chunk when it went up. And I'll be looking to get back into it if we see it dip down a bit more. So we shall see. Yep. But anything else on PLUSD, or should we talk about something that's a little bit more?
Well, yeah, I'll kind of finish off with PDI, right?
Yeah.
So the FUD that's going around right now, you kind of have a choice. Now, because of the FUD, it has already hit a massive red candle. But I know that there's a lot of people who believe in it to the point where they might buy that back up. So when you're trying to invest smartly, right? I would put a little bit into it now on that red candle, and then wait to see where the FUD goes. Are people going to want to buy it up right away? Or is the FUD going to continue and come out extremely hard against the Atropa ecosystem and then cause it to go down further? If it does go down further, then you can buy more, right? However, the safest spot for you to put money into it now is going to be like literally right now, because of that big red candle.
What's the price at currently? Can you pull up that chart again? I don't have it on my background here.
Yeah. Let me represent. Bam. Oops,
what was the percentage down today in the last few days? Out of curiosity.
This is on the hourly. So let's just go to the daily.
Okay.
So on the daily, it is currently down 16%.
Okay. Not a bit of a dip, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, it's not gigantic, right? But this is a good red candle, and it looks like it's starting to go down a little bit more, right? So if you were to go over here to 1 hour, this is like if you're trading meme coins, right? Now, what I would do is I see this, right? And then I'd be like, I want to buy some, okay? Then I start seeing this, whatever. But now it's starting to go down again. So I would have put probably 50% of the whole DCA money that I would have put into PDI anyways into here. And now the rest of that 50, I'll wait for it to either go down further, and I'll just kind of buy.
And now that candle is starting to go lower than the other candle, you gotta kind of wait to see where it's going to bottom out here.
Yeah, this is why I've been doing so well on these basically meme coins, but alternative. What should we just call them? Pulse chain alts at this point? I think let's just call them pulse chain alts. But yeah, it's the reason why I've been doing so good on them is because of these type of safety measures. You know, I don't wait for everything to go to zero and then buy. You know, I buy on the way down.
But you're also not buying 100% of what you want to put into that coin. If it's $100, you might only put $50 in, right? We're not talking about large percentages of portfolios here. We're talking about small amounts of money.
Yes, exactly. That's the big deal.
Bets. My last DCA this week, right before we popped off in Pulse Hex, was literally just in the core Richard Hart coins.
For a little bit of context for the folks at home, in Pulse terms, the bottom, the most recent bottom for PDI was at the beginning of August, where it was about 28 Pulse per token. Right now, we're looking at about 95 Pulse per token. Recently, just a few days ago, on the 11th of September, 12th of September, it got all the way up to 120. And again, now it's sitting at 95. So it is down a little bit. Its all-time high in Pulse terms was about 127. So we are still within in the top percentile range of the PDI's total journey. The last time it was up much higher than this was, back in June. So just some food for thought for the folks at home.
Yeah.
And the thing that I'm sorry, Brendan, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say, look, yeah, you have to look at it on a wider scale. Hey, if we're down 16%, but we just had hit all-time highs, then yeah, maybe it's a wait to see approach, right? If you're close to all-time highs on coins like this, unless you think we're really going to take off, which we'll talk about here in a second, that is another thing you need to take into consideration, as Will was saying.
Yep. And I just want to throw one last thing out there for everybody to think about. The the P Stables God Trio is, again, DAI, USDC, USDT. They are in the Atropa ecosystem. They are the ones that, and especially DAI. DAI is the main one, and then the other two will just kind of go with it. But those are the ones that are going to peg if it gets to that point. Okay, that's the point. So if you start seeing any of these other stable coins like popping up, and they're like, oh yeah, we're doing the exact same thing, I'd watch out. It's kind of like how Pulse Latina just suddenly appeared, started getting into beefs with people on Pulse Chain, the influencers, and you're like, where did this come from? Oh, I'm gonna launch my own coin now. It's like, huh? What's going on here? You got to have these red flags, guys. This is how you survive in crypto, you know?
Yeah. Well, the thing that's really tragic about this is that the LUSD folks, they had a really strong community, and they didn't really have any centralized leadership. I remember talking to Larry and Kinetics with the GIF team when they created the Giffordware functionality for PLUSD, and the stable minting of the whole tokenization, or the whole contract and everything like that. So they worked with them a whole lot, and they created the way for people to burn the Pulse LUSD, to mint the stable, to get that cycle, the buy and burn thing triggering for the gift tech tokenomics. The permeable tokenomics. There we go. So like it is kind of sad to see this community just totally rugged by a smart cookie, malevolent actor. So that's some things that I wanted to remind you guys of. Is that like there was a lot of engagement with the PLUSD. I know that the Degen protocol guys, they were looking to do some stuff with that tokenomics as well. With the I think they had XLUSD or something planned, similar to how they have the GOAT token. It interacts with Pulse Chain. So I'm not sure entirely all the details, but it is sad to see such a large community basically rugged of all its value by someone finding an exploit in the code. And it just goes to show that like we really are operating in like a crazy like minefield, and one wrong misstep and it's like, oh, there goes everything.
You know what hasn't rugged?
What's that?
No, I shouldn't say that. Every Richard Hart main coin was down to its all-time low, but
yeah,
there's been no exploits. The code runs perfect. And so if you believe,
I will say that,
I think it's a safer place to put your money.
Yeah, and there's been some fantastic green candles coming over these last few days. Yeah, bro, like Hex on
Pulse
from
Chain
Ethereum.
Coins, really?
Yeah, dude.
And Hex on Ethereum.
Hex on Ethereum was up 100% for a little bit there. I don't. I'm pulling up the chart to take a look at it right now, but like on the daily, we're down a little bit, but yeah. Hex from Ethereum, that went pretty darn good over the last few days. Hex, the Pulse Chain Hex, it shot up about a 2x just over the last. Let's see, on 9 September was the bottom of the range where it was at. Hang on, let me pull up the price. Oh, I have it paired against PulseX. I don't want to do that. I want to pair it against Pulse. Hang on, stand by. I'm kind of talking about Tuchus here. We've got Hex paired against Hex. Dang it, I'd need it paired against Pulse or something. Anyways, the point is the Richard Hart core coins they've been doing green. They've been doing pretty darn good over the last several days. And that was kind of nice to see. I don't know if you guys heard about the stuff that's been going on with sun and soil or whatever. Oh man, Hex Scout made a fantastic post about the stuff that's going on with all the sun and all the people that are able to use like a real life product backed stablecoin on Pulse Chain. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on in like the German economy that has to do with money being onboarded into Pulse Chain. So that's pretty interesting. But like, I don't know if it has anything to do with the prices rising for PulseX, Incentive, Hex, and Pulse Chain, like, the core 4. But that's some pretty cool things. We like seeing these green candles, boys. It's like, hey, we're not entirely dead. Look at us. We're no longer, 99% down. It's like, woohoo, 50% up. We're so fucking back, baby. And it's like, oh man, we've got a long way to go, but it's nice to get that little dopamine rush every now and again. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on the happenings over the last several days?
Well, I want to show something here. I'm going to bring my screen back up. But
Yeah.
Yes. In the last
This
7
is hilarious.
days, EHEX is up 80% currently. So even in the
Yep.
last 24 hours, we pulled back a little bit, which is not unexpected. But EHEX still up in 7 days, 78%. Hex on Pulse Chain, almost 50%. Pulse Chain, 14%. Pulse X, 18%. Inc, 22%. That's the last 7 days, even with the 10% pullback in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, right now, other than the
This is-
obvious stupid one, everything is going red though.
Yeah, but that's just
unfortunately.
that's just the last 24 hours. I don't think you could pull up a
Hmm.
longer time frame on
Yeah.
on Gold Pulse.
I don't believe so. But if you're looking at this, right? So if we look at hex to hex, ehex to hex, it's doing pretty good. Not bad. USD. Boom. There we go. Nice and up. I'm liking it. That's the 1 hour chart, right? Some people see that's how far we still have to go, unfortunately. But it is a nice thing to look at. You know what I mean? It shows how much we've been beat up over here on Pulse Chain. But we see these candles and we're all like, you know what? I'm liking this. I like that we're starting to see this again because it's been so long that we've had red, just freaking for so long. Let's go right here. Right? How many weeks in a row of just red? Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so we're starting to go green, and I think we're going to be going green here pretty soon because I've seen other charts that do this, basically like start, drop, kind of consolidate a little bit, has like a little bit of a run, and then just goes seemingly down forever. And this is usually when people start saying, "Hey, that coin is dead; it's never going anywhere." And a lot of times it's true, but when you start getting these types of charts on these coins that have a really strong community backing, all of a sudden that's when you start getting these really big candles that start, oh, it's going up. That's when those things start happening,
Craziness,
and,
bro.
yeah, it does get crazy, but it's all about the patience. This is a game of attrition, man. That's what crypto is. It's just a game of attrition. I will stop sharing now.
There's I've got a fun saying for the guys at home. People might know the when in doubt zoom out one, but if you want to feel like you win, then just zoom in. That's my alternative for that one. So it kind of it reminds me a lot of what happened with Zen a while back. If you guys remember, like the Zen community went crazy wild when like Zen was like super duper way down low for a long time, and it had like a little 50% rise, and everyone was like, "We're so back." you can when you want to feel like you win, then just zoom in, and when you're in doubt, just zoom out. It's like those are the fun little rhymes for you guys. No good actual advice, but hey, if it rhymes, then it must be good advice. I like it. What you got here? Drift token is up. That's nice.
Yeah.
I remember investing in that.
So this is another crypto bubble website that I like. It's pulsecoinlist.com/bubbles.
Yes,
because you can do it more than just hour or day. You can
I like that. Yeah.
Year, so you can go over a larger, different time frames. So this is the week, and you can also figure out what coins you want. You can add a watch list. You can add favorites. So I'm just doing coins 200 to 201 to 300. And so here has EHEX, has PulseX. You mentioned Drift, Cody,
Yep.
And a few others. So this is a lot of different coins, but also I just put these into my favorites just to show you the 5 major coins from the Richard Heart ecosystem, in my opinion. This is the last week, the month. Hey, looking pretty good for the last month. EHEX really leading the way. Now, like I said, last day we've been down a bit, but still in the last week we are up pleasantly, and we haven't been on in a Sunday show in a week, so it's good to note this. And look, it's just good to see some green candles, but this is nothing. Like right, we need another 40x before we're even like anywhere close to a bit above SAC rate. So yeah, we could still 40x from here without even an issue. No, not financial advice. 100x, who knows? But I think like a 30 to 40x from here is certainly very plausible, and even likely more if this bull market continues into middle and end of next year.
Oh man. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the bubbles. Excuse me. But yeah, dude, we're
Turn off the
gonna
bubbles.
have. Yeah, I gotta turn it off. I've dropped a link for the folks at home in the live chat, pulsecoinlist.com/bubbles.
It's a good one.
Oh, yeah, it feels good to use that. Speaking of feeling good, and speaking of things going on in the chats, Mrs. Producer, let's go ahead and pull up our latest chat shout out. We've been joined by a good friend of mine, Mr. Paul Sachs, saying ramen and noodles and single ply toilet paper for me, boys. Yes, he's saving that money to get that good DCA in. Yep. By the bottom.
Yeah, unfortunately, Paul said that he got destroyed by PL.
He might have been joking about that. I think
I don't know if he's joking or not, though. You're gonna have to specify, bro.
I think he was joking.
I hope you're okay.
Yeah. We hope you are okay,
man. Well,
but I'm sure some people did get killed by PLUSD. You know, there are people that believe in these meme coins and put more money in there than they should because it's, you know, it's a bit more risky. Everything's risky in crypto, but some things are more risky.
It's all risky. Yes. You know what's not risky, though, is hanging out here with us at the Degen Roundtable. For those of you guys who are not already a part of the Degen Roundtable, we've got this fantastic QR code right down that away that you guys can scan that will bring you on over into our Telegram. We're going to go ahead and show you guys our socials and show you all the cool things that we're trying to do. So if you guys are not already a member of the Degen Roundtable, then go ahead and scan that QR code. And if you don't want to do that, then I'll go ahead and drop the link in the chats right now. For those of you guys that are listening on replay, the audio for the link is t.me/DRT join now. That is Delta Romeo Tango join now. So if you guys aren't already in the Degen Roundtable community Telegram, go ahead and get on in there. It's free right now. It's not always going to be free. It's a good time. We all like to have fun. We share memes, talk about video games, anime, girls, guns, beans, bullets, batteries, band-aids, the whole 9 yards. You're going to freaking love it. So hop on over into our Telegram. And yeah, as far as announcements for the show goes, next week we're going to have a special guest. I do believe that it's been confirmed. I will let Nate be the one to announce that special guest because he's been the one, as far as I'm aware, that's been doing the organizing and stuff. So when we get to Nate, then we can go into more detail on that. As far as other announcements, for book club next week, I'm going to be hosting. We'll be covering the Warriors ethos. So if you guys want to read and be a part of the Degen Roundtable book club, then oh shoot, there's another Telegram for that one. I'll go ahead and grab that right now. But it is not bit.ly. My goodness. I have to find the correct link now. Dadgummit. Okay, check out our book club Telegram. There we go. I found the copywriting and stuff. But it is t.me/Degen book club. So book club next week again we're going to be covering the Warrior Ethos, which is a fantastic book, super short read. If you guys catch it on Audible and listen to it on 2x speed, it's about 40 minutes long. So if you want to listen to it on regular slow speed or 1x or 1.5x, then a little bit longer than that. But it's a fantastic read. I've already listened to it twice. I've got some good notes written out in that in the Degen Book Club Telegram group. So that's going on over there. That basically concludes all of the announcements for the show and everything. Mr. Brendan, my fantastic co-host, can you go ahead and give the folks a shout out of where they can find you, what your socials are, and what have you got going on in the near future, my friend?
Yes, anonymous _ bean on X. You can see it under my name there. Might throw that in the chat. Will might throw that in the chat for me.
I got you.
Thank you, brother. And yeah, look, just continuing to stay tied in. There's a lot going on in our world in this political election cycle. We need to keep our eyes focused if you are truly into this crypto market, because there's still a lot of opportunities here to accumulate a lot more than at points we never anticipated to be able to accumulate still at this point into the bull market cycle. And so that has been a bit of a blessing if you have and have been able to continue to accumulate dry powder, maybe by eating ramen noodles and using single ply toilet paper like Paul Sachs, or whatever other way. You get a second job like Casey, or a third job like Casey, Gains by Casey. There's a lot of people in our communities that are finding ways to earn money to DCA at lower numbers. And those are the type of people that are going to make it, in my opinion. Everyone said we're all going to make it. You're not all going to make it. If you put in the work, you put in the effort, you might make it. It'll give you a better chance to make it, but not everybody's going to make it. If you don't put in the work, you're very likely to not make it. But yeah, so look, I'm just trying to better myself financially through crypto, trying to better myself through my faith, through going on a retreat to better my relationship with my fiance this weekend. I'm trying to better all of my all parts of my life so that I can be a better person, best version of myself, as Nate mentioned earlier in the show. And another assassination attempt, man. Just like so much crazy stuff that's going on. I'll let you shout out a potential guest that we have coming up Wednesday before we close out. But I'm super stoked for that. And really appreciate everyone for joining in. Find us on X. We have a lot coming up, and we might just revisit the perfect storm theory here in the next several weeks. So keep your eye out for that as well. The Ascending Man, Mr. Clean Shaven, Nate McGidditt.
Yeah, Fabio, apparently. Yeah, I am the Ascending Man, and you all should be ascending the ladder of just being the greatest human being possible, the greatest version of you possible, absolutely at all times, right? And yeah, you're correct about that, Brendan. Like here's the thing, man. Okay, you say we are all not going to make it. Well, that's true. Unless you're in this Telegram group, we are all going to make it because we sharpen each other. Iron sharpens iron, and we make sure that we're all not getting trapped in these unfortunate happenings like Pulse Latina and now, PLUSD, right? As soon as anybody in there is like, oh, I'm going to go all in on this, I believe in it. It's like, you've got people like us going, whoa, hold up. Think about that first. There are some people that we've rescued from doing things like that later on they would have lost it all. There's a lot of people who just straight up wanted to sell out because they're like, you know what, screw Pulse Chain, it's not going anywhere. I put so much money into this and now it's all gone. Hey, we helped them through it, and we are the best community literally in crypto, hands down. We have a ton of value. So yeah, get in there, like and subscribe to the show. Obviously, you want to press the bell button so that way you can actually know when we're getting on and all that. But yeah, also give me a follow over on X. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit slow on that right now. Like I said, I'm trying to. I got so much stuff going on. It's actually crazy, especially in in real life job, right? Tons and tons of stuff going on. However, you put that in there faster than me,
dude,
man. What the hell?
We hit it at the same time, bro. I was looking and I saw it pop up, and I'm like, I thought I put little brackets around it, and then I was like, oh shoot, look at that. We did it at the same time. That was good stuff.
ADHD, right? Oh my god. But yeah, so go ahead, give me a follow. As soon as I'm able to get some time, I'm going to be pumping out a lot of content. There's a lot of good stuff that's going to be flowing through there, right? As well as, again, the Telegram channel. So yeah, keep eye open. We do have a special guest this Wednesday. It is going to be, I think it is his first interview since coming back. A little bit controversial right now, but hey, it is going to be Kareem. He is going to be coming on, talking about his experience, sort of what the heck happened, stuff like that, right? So, hey, look forward to it. It is going to be an absolute event, all right? And if you're not watching it, you're going to miss out on some pretty important stuff. So I would consider possibly putting so number one, subscribing, but number two, hitting that bell button, because you do not want to miss this one. Absolutely not. Anyways, I've done enough talking. Will, take us out, brother.
All right, excellent. For those of you guys that don't know, my name is Will Stevenson. I've gone ahead and dropped my Pulse domain version of the link tree down in, oh shoot, I haven't clicked the send button yet. So there we go. You guys will probably see this hopefully right now, but you can find all of my socials at will.pls.fyi. That's where my link tree is at. That's where my Telegram, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all this stuff. You guys can stalk me wherever the hell you want to from that place right there. There was one more thing. I want to shout out, we were talking about doing business earlier. If you guys, I have two projects that I want to shout out. Both are just some little basically lists that I made on the internet. One of them is for doing business with other crypto bros. So I made a spreadsheet that anyone can go in and access, anyone can edit. It is bit.ly/crypto_bro_services. And it's basically, if you have a business, if you like provide some sort of service in the space and you want to do business with other like-minded folks, then go to this little Google Excel spreadsheet thing and just fill in your information. If you have a business, if there's somebody in there who's a professional who does stuff that you like there's a lot of Hexicans that make t-shirts and jewelry. We got some cool dudes that build websites. We got some developers in there. We've got some personal trainers, some people that do real estate, people that teach home improvement, all sorts of cool stuff. So if you guys have a business and you want to put it in there and you want to do business with other crypto bros service or with other crypto brothers and sisters, then go to bit.ly/crypto_bro_services. Anyone can edit that document. Anyone can put in however much information that you want to dox yourself with. Obviously, the purpose of this is for people to reach out to you and do business with you. So it's more for those that are okay with people contacting them on either X or Telegram or Facebook or giving them a call or sending them an email or anything like that. So if you guys are business
I'm on
people,
that list. I'm on that list for pesticides. I am a master licensed pesticide applicator, right? So
Excellent.
yeah, if you guys have any questions about that, basically we can do like a consultation. I can save you like literally thousands per year by just following what I tell you to do rather than just going and buying a pest control service. So
excellent. Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing, guys. The dream is one day that we all go live in Hexaco. And when we're living in Hexaco, like, we'll theoretically all be rich, but if we're all just a bunch of people sitting on big old piles of money and nobody knows how to fix the plumbing, or nobody knows how to cook the sandwiches or kill the bugs or teach the marksmanship instruction or whatever the heck, then we all have to still do things with our time. So you might as well learn an awesome skill that you're willing to charge people money for, in exchange for goods and services. And if we're all wealthy, then we're going to be having a good time. So the point is to solve problems. So solve each other's problems, get paid for it, reach out and meet other crypto enthusiasts. And on the subject of reaching out and hanging out with other crypto enthusiasts, I've gone ahead and dropped in the chat bit.ly/hex_meetup. If you're a Hexican, or if you're just a crypto bro and you're watching this channel and you want to meet up with other crypto bros, want to meet up with other Hexicans, want to meet up with other enthusiastic people that are all awesome. I've never met a bad Hexican. Right. And I travel the States all the time. I meet up with all sorts of people. I've gone to all sorts of events. It's fan-frickin-tastic, guys. So go to, and it's also right here underneath my name, underneath my little description right here, bit.ly/hex_meetup. So that's where you guys can go and meet other Hexicans. This page will take you directly to the Start Here tab. You just read through that, introduce yourself if you like, talk about where you're at, talk about what you like to do, things like the type of people that you want to meet, and then go and meet people. There's a whole bunch of different rooms for a whole bunch of different locations. If you guys want a new room added, then just hit me up. I'd be more than happy. We talk about music in there. We talk about small business. We talk about everything. So join all these telegrams, subscribe to our channel, like the hit button, do all that great stuff. Follow us on Twitter. We've given you guys a whole laundry list of things to do. Don't be afraid to watch this show on like halftime speed during the replay and catch all these super cool, awesome links and everything. And oh my goodness, Mr. Paul Sachs, before we head out, he's got one final thing. His Amazon order for Claymore will be here tomorrow. I don't know if he's talking about a movie, if he's talking about a Spanish or like a Scottish two-handed broadsword, if he's talking about an explosive charge, or what he's talking about.
Talking about an explosive charge, because he was asking me the fastest way to get rid of an armadillo, and I just said dynamite.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Yeah, So I didn't know you could buy Claymores on Amazon, but that's super cool. Shout out to Lockheed Martin for starting to put some of their products on the interwebs and everything. So that is excellent. All right, guys, time for the end of the show. I'm going to go ahead and read the end of the show copywriting. I want to thank you all for spending your valuable time here with us on the Degen Roundtable. As Agent J often says, we know that time is your most valuable asset, and we appreciate you investing that time here with us. You've been watching the Degen Roundtable. My name is Will Stevenson. Mrs. Producer, go ahead and get that trigger figure ready. It's time to remind all the folks at home to remember to Degen responsibly.